I don't know why I grabbed the fan, but I did.
It's just that kind of night.
It really honestly is.
It's one of those days.
It is truly one of those days.
Okay.
If you know, you know. Anyway.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
That's a throwback and a half.
It's coming up this year. We're just a month away.
Junior Eurovision, for anybody that's curious. That's what we're referencing. It's been an ongoing joke literally since the channel started. So, anyway. Anyway, welcome to The Cup, the currently unnamed podcast where we put the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, a Say Something Gay. Gay, here, as always, with my AHA Fuji Apple and White Tea Sparkling Caffeinated Water. As always.
I love AHA. Such a good.
I just restocked, me very happy.
And I am Anissa Long, also known as Sam de Monteverde, also known as Sam DMV, your fellow friendly 5'4" trans non-binary Filipino Canadian mentally unstable hot mess hailing all the way from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Scarborough, if you want to be specific. And today I have water. I forget from who, but it's not Costco this time. With a side of croissants because I got hungry. We brought to you by Farmers Market. Please sponsor me.
Period.
Alrighty. Hello, my name is Jack. I am a Twitch streamer, a game designer, a college student, a coffee addict, and an overall hot mess. And today I am drinking orange and spiced tea because once again it is something that I randomly drew out of my box that has all my teas in it. And I didn't just wake up an hour ago, not even an hour ago, 30 minutes ago to do this.
Yeah. And it's me back again for another Survivor podcast, Robyn. I'm a non-binary, trans, efficient Indian goddess queen. Yeah, I'm so excited and sad to talk about this episode because it definitely had a lot of highlights. But yeah, we'll get into it. It's kind of a tragedy.
It's not ideal. If I'm being honest with you, it's not ideal. The writing was on the wall. Let's all be real here. The writing was there. Should it have happened this episode? No. No. But we are back. Survivor 43, episode 8. I'm still on the boat of like, this season is fine. This season is acceptable.
Yeah, I feel like that's the perfect word for it. Acceptable.
I think it's slowly hinging on a what the fuck are you doing? Please stop. No, we had it so good.
It's slowly reaching South Pacific territory, if I'm being honest. Like, everybody's been comparing it to South Pacific, and that's kind of just how I feel about it at this point. Especially now that we finally, for the first time this season, have a majority alliance.
And it's not a
ideal
majority.
No.
For me, like, it's so weird because a lot of people in this majority alliance I like, right? Like, we have the Carlas and the Jessies. But for me, and we'll get into it more, for me, I don't think it's really benefiting them in any way to be in the same alliance. But we'll get into that, in my opinion.
I think I agree with you, Robyn. Like, I don't know how or why this alliance came together, and I'm kind of just like, can you not? Mm-hmm. Like, well, I mean, it came together after the last vote, is realistically what it was. And we come back from Dwight getting voted out, we think holding Janine's idol. And Janine is sad about having lost her idol. And then, in the true gag of the season, Jesse's like, so Dwight gave me Janine's idol before tribal council.
Just
so I have Janine's idol.
and not saying anything.
Of course not.
Fucking finally, someone decides, oh, I know the knowledge is power advantage is out. Let me not say anything for once.
Yeah, and I mean, before we even get into like Janine's idol, we see Sammy in the beginning of the episode kind of coming to Owen and Janine like, hey, sorry I flipped. Here's why, trying to like, sort it out with them, because obviously they know they've been betrayed twice, especially by Sammy. And yeah, we get into the idol. I was shook. That was the shock of the episode. My jaw dropped.
I feel like that was the.
And I just say, like, maybe it's the petty in me, but at the maybe Dwight was still processing while getting voted out. But if I'm that petty, because obviously he knows that people had to flip on him in order for him to even leave. So him leaving, listen, Jesse, you want to fuck me over? I gave Jesse the idol, Janine's idol, and then just leave. So
I wish.
I wish it, but
I wish.
it's good. I hope Jesse could keep it a secret because again, we know knowledge is power is in the game. So like,
I mean, the last person that did keep their idol a secret managed to win the game. So, I mean,
true.
Yeah.
And he isn't the only one with a hidden idol. Carla
is also hidden.
As far as we know, no one
as far as we know
has it.
Yeah.
And also,
I was gonna say, were you gonna talk about the deleted scene, Robyn?
Oh no, I was just gonna talk about that. Jesse also has Cody's idol. We don't know if he gave it to him in the episode. We didn't see it, but as of now, we're believing that he still has Cody's idol.
Well, so apparently I was made aware, I think we may have talked about it in a previous episode. I don't remember exactly how I came on this information, but apparently there's a deleted scene where Carla and somebody are talking about beads, and
Gabler.
I was Gabler, and Carla plays it off like Lindsay was the one getting all the beads. So she is like completely playing off. She's like, oh no, I don't have any beads. Like that was all Lindsay, and then we blindsided her, and so it gives like a fake reason for blindsiding her, which again is so smart and just plays to how smart of a player Carla is. And I sound like a broken record, but honestly, I think the majority right now, I think plays best into the hands of Carla and Cassidy.
Absolutely.
So the majority we're talking about now, we have 2 successful votes, which have secured this majority of Cody, Jesse, Carla, Ryan, James, Cassidy, and Sammy. And I think it really it benefits Carla, it benefits Cassidy, and I guess it would benefit Ryan and James too, to an extent.
Yeah. It benefits Coco.
It benefits Coco, which honestly, fine. Cool.
You know what?
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I think we see that heavily in this episode, how it benefits Coco. Like, that's what I don't understand about a lot of people, like the Codys and the Jessies, who fought really hard to, like, keep Ryan this episode. I don't know the thought process because I'm like, you're still keeping Coco 4 strong, but okay, whatever.
I don't think it's supposed to make sense at a certain point.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. We'll see how long this majority lasts. I mean, we already see it kind of crumbling apart to an extent. And then they also kind of have Gabler as like an auxiliary piece. I did want to focus on that. Like Sammy's still trying to pull Gabler in with him. Not too sure why, but
Yeah, I think one thing I loved from the episode too that we got to see. What's that thing called? Is it their tribe flag? I was trying to figure out it was a flag or not,
Yeah,
but we got to see
the
that
tribe
name
flag, yeah.
tag.
Tribe banner, tribe flag, yeah.
Yeah, banner, I guess it would be called. And then we also see Owen talk about his story of like being adopted, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that was a good moment. And then I was like, okay, Owen's either going home or he's gonna do something big in this episode.
It's really, really difficult with a late season throwback like story moment to tell whether one or the other, because my mind immediately also went to the same as you, Robyn. I was like, oh, Owen's going home. Just
Right.
because like
Yep.
you see that on I think immediately of Drag Race, because you see that on Drag Race so much, and it's like, okay, cool, they're getting their emotional story. Okay, cool, they get sent home. Like that's just how it goes. And like all reality TV shows use that same sort of ploy. So I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, my mind immediately went to Big Brother Australia, what they recently did, where it was like, yeah, no, they don't mention like 95% of the cast, and they only mention like the 3 or 4 people who are either going to do
Literally.
something in the episode or go home. They literally did not introduce someone until 8 episodes in, and the only reason they did is because they were going home.
Not
Yep.
that.
Well, it's also because Big Brother Australia has a cast of like 30.
Oh yes, I hear they have big cast. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a decent franchise with the revival. All things considered, it's decent. It's not great. There's a lot of, I don't want to say racism, but
There's a lot of
underlying
white people.
There's a lot of white people. There's a lot of white people. And there's a lot of underlying biases. But then again, 2 seasons ago, a black man won. So, and that was voted on by Australia. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's a weird amalgamation.
You know, I have my Australian friend Derek. We all know Derek.
Period, Derek.
He was actually because you know I was zooming with Julia, like I was saying for this episode. So we were actually talking about like Australian Survivor and Big Brother, how they aren't like as diverse. And Derek says it's really weird. It's how they cast, because he says Australia is very diverse. Like
it is, yeah, from my understanding as well.
Yeah.
The backgrounds are very diverse. In terms of physical race, it's not as much.
Yeah. But
okay, my food's here, so I'm gonna take a pause.
You're good, love. Speaking of, we will be covering Australian Survivor in January, so I'm very excited. Heroes versus villains. Very excited.
Which is also being announced during the Challenge Australia, which, if you're curious, as a Paramount viewer, you cannot view. You just can't.
I'm not surprised.
It doesn't make sense.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Logan, you were saying?
No, you go ahead, honey.
So I think one thing that I do remember, like around, like shortly after this moment, Owen opens up. We get this moment of James kind of strategizing with kind of this majority on who's next. And immediately he's like, we get a confessional of James being like, we have not talked game. I don't think I can trust him. So why not take a shot at Owen?
Yeah.
And I mean, sure. Why not?
I have to say, for James's game, that makes sense. That makes complete sense.
But also, don't you dare touch Owen, I swear to God.
Honest to God. I'm like, protect
I do love Owen. I really do love Owen. I do not.
But either way, I think at this point they really just jump to the challenge. They don't have too much in terms of like pre-strategy, and that's been pretty
There's not a lot of filler in this episode, which I genuinely appreciate. So we go to the challenge. It is the hold a bouncy ball, basically. They all look like the balls that we used to use like in elementary school for like kickball.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all relate to that, but
well, here in Canada we call kickball soccer baseball. So
I'm so sorry. What?
We like kickball as in like you kick the ball and it's kind of like baseball and where you run.
Yeah.
We call it soccer baseball here in Canada.
I can't tell whether that's better or worse than kickball because kickball has to be the most unimaginative name for a sport ever. Anyway, I'm just not going to acknowledge
that's
that
a fun
further.
fact.
I don't feel like we should.
You missed the soccer baseball discussion, Robyn.
Oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
I'm not into sports.
My Canadian is showing, y'all.
Your Canadian is showing today. Anyway, we go to the challenge. It's the hold a ball with the pole, add more pole to it so it gets higher endurance challenge that almost or made someone faint. Who was that again? That was a couple. That was Joe.
Yes.
Anyway, I won't acknowledge it any further.
So you're saying they had this competition before with the polls, like adding the things?
Yes. So they so this is a classic challenge. For the audience, Robyn is a newer Survivor viewer. Just for context. Yeah, this is a classic challenge that they've done a few times, and the last time they did this challenge, someone fainted.
Yeah.
We don't like him. I also don't wish any like bad health things on him, but we don't like him, so I'm just not going to acknowledge it any further. I forgot who it was. Anyway,
he
challenge
went out that episode, so it's fine.
Yeah. Before we get into the challenge, too, Jeff bargains the players for rice.
I was gonna say So we get
five people. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. He was like, "Nope, you're giving me 5 or more." Whoever wants to sit out.
It's interesting that we've had this development. For people that have watched, we've kind of had this development of the bargain since David versus Goliath, with my icon, my legend, Miss Angelina Keeley. Robyn, I might need you to skip all of the other seasons.
With someone from that season.
I'm like,
oh my God.
She's booked.
Was it Mike?
Blessed.
No, I forgot his name.
I was gonna say I might need you to skip all other seasons and just go straight to David versus Goliath because it truly is the epitome of chaotic Survivor, like in the best possible way.
It's so
she was the only one that sat out for the rice, right? Angelina?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I heard on the podcast.
But she's the queen of negotiations and the queen of jackets.
Oh, great negotiation!
You'll understand when you walk in.
The idol in it? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
We'll do the tangent because I need you to understand it now. So they blindside someone on their tribe. And as this woman is getting up, about to get her torch snuffed, Angelina goes, "But can I get your jacket? Can I like have your jacket?" As this person is walking to get her torch snuffed.
But
can I have your jacket?
And even after their torch,
and even after,
they're still like.
And I think there's a very, very important note there is that the person who got blindsided is also iconic for other reasons.
Oh, and we love Natalie.
Absolutely. For other reasons. And then
again, the epitome of chaotic Survivor is that season.
But ultimately, I think Angelina ended up posting on Twitter saying like, "I can't believe I got my tribe a discount code or something."
That part.
Like because Jeff was not budging.
No. My point is we've seen this sort of evolution where Jeff used to be very, very lenient with negotiations, and especially so on Winners at War because, winners. But now he's like, "No, I'm going to take 5, and if you wait until tomorrow, it's going to be 6. And I'm like, Jeff, you are already starving these people beyond a point that any other survivors have ever been starved before. Respectfully, Jeff Probst, fuck off.
Just
like, you can make this easier for them. Like, only half of them got a merge feast. Like, come on now, Jeff.
Do they have to say like a magic word or something?
No, we're just going to starve people on national television for 26 days. It's fine.
Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing about it. These people signed up for it. They know it's gonna be harsh. Listen, if you don't feel safe, then play in the challenge and don't eat. That's it.
No, if you don't feel safe, go play Big Brother.
Huh?
If you don't feel safe, go play Big Brother.
Not this.
And that is happily where I will be. Thank you very much. Actually, no. I would play Survivor, but I medically cannot play Survivor. Fun fact.
Yeah.
We love having vertigo. Anyway, we have 6 people. We have 5 people sit out. Sammy is the first to step forward with James, Carla, and Jesse. And they're looking for one more person. And James turns to Owen and goes, "You're protected."
Girl.
And I'm like, Owen, sir, Mr. Owen, you better not step forward.
Owen,
oh my God,
keep your feet there.
Right.
I swear to God.
And then Cassidy sits out, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm like, thank you, Cassidy. Thank you, Queen, Queen of under editing. So.
Not to jump too far ahead, but I'm going to just say this about Cassidy this episode. I mean, I've been okay on Cassidy so far, like not a big stan, but this episode really made me like a stan. I'm like,
thank you. Welcome to the club.
I know, I'm a Cassidy
Yeah,
fan.
I will say that. I'll jump on that ship too, actually, because I feel like we got to see a good amount of like.
I said it from episode 1. We're getting this really interesting edit with Cassidy this season that, I'm going to be honest, is very reminiscent of the edits that both Erica and Marianne got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, she had her gameplay confessional in episode 1. She kind of goes silent for a little bit until she goes to Tribal. She makes Merge, kind of goes silent again for a little bit, at least in like viewership, in like number of minutes on the TV, and now we're seeing her reemerge, and she truly has just a great understanding of A, where she's at in the tribe, and B, what she needs to do to make it further in the game. I'm just saying, at this point, do not be surprised if one of the 3 remaining women wins this season. I think any one of them could.
Yes.
But we are left with 6 people competing in the immunity challenge, that being Owen, Janine, Gabler, Noelle, Cody, and Ryan. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that during this challenge, Jeff Probst decided to say, in the middle of talking about how tiring the challenge is, that if one of your legs gets tired, you can just rely on the other one. While Noelle was still in the challenge. I'm happy I'm happy that I've come to find out, thanks to Robyn, that Noelle laughed it off on Instagram, thankfully.
Yeah, she
but
did.
I was sitting there and I was like,
fun fact about this as well that Owen posted. Apparently during practice, I think it was Noelle or Cassidy next to him, because one of the 2 of them ended up dropping the ball and it hit him directly in the nuts. And that was pre-challenge.
Well, Cassidy didn't compete. I don't know who does the it would have been Noelle. It would have been Noelle.
It would have probably been Noelle, but I'm gonna check.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a woman, it's either Noelle or Janine. So you've got a 50-50 shot of getting it correct.
I remember Janine being next to Owen, so.
I thought Noelle was also next to Owen.
Yeah. Fun fact, during the warm-up, Noelle's bell fall, bouncing him square in the nuts.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Yeah.
And he still did well, even with that paint. Good for him.
And he still did well, even with that
paint.
Good
for him. So, most people did decent in the challenge. The women fall pretty much immediately.
Right.
Okay.
Because Survivor challenges. Yeah.
Because this season, I'm not even saying Survivor challenges, because this season.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair challenge, but
I do too.
I never done it, so I don't know the disadvantages.
Robyn, we'll recreate it when we do the cup live. We'll recreate this challenge.
I'm down. I've been watching like how to do these challenges, how to like hack them, everything. I'm learning.
Season 45. Robyn,
Peridium's
No, that's too
10
early.
video deep how to hack a challenge.
we love Peridium over here.
We really
Yes.
I love Billy. I love Billy. Like, if I ever am able to get on any of these shows, I'm binging all of his videos the night before I leave.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Also, Billy, if you're out there, would not mind a chance.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah. But yes, so the women lose pretty quickly, and then Gabler and Ryan fall shortly after, and then it is a battle between Cody and Owen. And I was like, Owen.
Right.
Owen! Owen!
There are so many close calls, too.
Right. I also thought that Owen had, I don't know if anybody else was doing it, but from what I could see, they weren't really doing it. But Owen had a good strategy of, I mean, his eyes was probably dying from like looking up into the sun, but like he actually was like looking at his ball to make sure that it was okay, and nobody was really focusing on that. So
I physically could not do that for more than like 30 seconds without throwing up. Like, that's the main reason I would never be able to be on Survivor. I can't, if it's bright out, I can't look at the sky for more than 30 seconds without getting nauseous.
I wonder if they would let me wear these glasses because they're transition lenses. I don't know if that would be considered a luxury because these are like prescription, but they
I don't think so.
They would probably.
I don't think you can wear sunglasses anymore.
Yeah, they would definitely say like, okay, can you get like
non-transition lenses?
Prescription, just not transition.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so much more convenient.
Yeah.
But when I don't tell them and then I get on there and they change color.
Period. Anytime they change color, just like, oh no, what are you talking about? No, they're fine. Anyway, we got, thankfully, if it pops up, Owen winning the challenge.
Thank you, Lord. I'm glad.
Thank you, Jesus.
In the beginning with him and hearing his story and everything that we, actually that he won the challenge instead of going home. So that was good.
Yeah. Thankfully, because I honestly think if he hadn't won, I think James tries to push the vote on him.
Yeah,
I genuinely
exactly.
Absolutely.
And Owen very much noticed what James said.
Yes.
Very much noticed. And I think that is part of the reason why he stayed in.
Yeah. So instead of targeting Owen, let's target Janine. I'm not saying that this season. Okay, I genuinely don't think we have had any, like, other than the incidents we've talked about previously, primarily revolving around Ellie, and also, the fact that the Dwight vote was all black men up for the vote. Yeah. I don't think we've seen any other direct instances of racism in this season. However,
this was
it's too convenient.
Not they're going after both Asians.
Yeah,
it's too convenient.
No, listen, because not calling anyone racist or anything, but people go into these games, and I hate when people are like, "Oh, why is everybody bringing up race and this and that?" But it's biases that people have coming into these games, right? Like, no matter what, everybody has their way of thinking, and the way they grew up, and they might not have been, around a lot of diverse people.
And I mean, it's not only like biases. There's also like stereotypes as well that kind of play a huge role into this as well. Like, just it could be even as simple as like James saying like Owen is sneaky, because I noticed that that's Asians being associated with like sneaky. Yeah. I've noticed is very like prevalent.
I didn't know anything specific like that being said in this episode. I don't know if y'all did. I didn't catch anything like that.
It was just it. Not that I'm saying James is a racist, because he's
sure, yeah.
because I know he's not. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But like him saying like, oh, like I don't trust Owen. Owen's sneaky. He's kind of thing.
Okay.
But
didn't someone call James or Ryan aggressive at the start of this episode also? Now that I'm thinking about it.
Wait a minute.
No, because someone did that too.
What was it, Gabler? I don't remember. I will have an update on that for next week because I honestly don't remember. Also, I just realized there's also only 4 white people left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not excusing any of this. That's a fact that I'm stating. So there's that. I still don't like it.
There is one specific thing there. Oh, there are only 4 white people left. Yeah, they're the 4 men.
No.
4, it's 3 men plus Cassidy, right? If I'm thinking
Noelle
right.
exists.
I'm so tired
Noelle,
that I can't fucking
Cassidy,
Cody, and
Gabler. They're the 4. And then Sammy's half. And then
Sammy's half.
Ryan's also half.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Anyway, ignore me. I can't count.
Anyway, the plan coming back to camp is Janine. But Sammy, God bless Sammy, he goes, so I'm number 7 in this 7-person alliance. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Basically it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to do Janine, so let's get the minority alliance together.
Minority group,
thank you. And all we just need is one more person.
Yeah.
But then it just goes on to Sammy basically telling everyone except for Ryan.
Yeah, well, okay, and it was very easy for him to do that because Ryan goes, I'm just gonna go fishing. I'm like,
right.
And I'm gonna be honest, I was truly gooped. I thought Ryan was going home.
I thought Ryan was going home too.
Like up until the moment that the votes were read, I thought Ryan was going home.
Okay, and to me, the reasonings to get out Janine didn't make any sense. I wrote down a few.
Please enlighten us, because I don't know what they were.
Some of the reasons we got to get Janine out. We're getting Janine out because she's not a part of anything. That was Ryan. Ryan said that.
Oh, God.
Cody said, Janine is a free agent. She's scary.
She'll work with anyone.
Right. So why not pick her up? And then this one is my favorite. This is from James. Janine's maybe athletic.
Yeah.
Those are quotes.
What?
I watched it over and I took notes, and I'm like, really? I mean, like, no offense, but like Noelle is sitting right there. Okay. Anyway, whatever.
But also, I remember just them being simply like, "Oh yeah, Janine doesn't have her idol anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kick her out."
Kick her out.
It's like,
I don't understand the mentality of like going for people on the bottom. I get that you're in your 7-person alliance, but in something like this, like Survivor in itself, things can get fluid, things can change, and you should always want people and numbers on your side, regardless if you're an alliance or anything. Always have a little side thing. That's why I was like, it didn't make sense to go after Janine. Like, why don't y'all use her? Like, pick her up on your side, make her,
exactly.
You know, because she has no one. She's always on the bottom. They could vote her out at any time. You know, why not? Pick her up.
I love Janine. I think Janine is fantastic. She's probably not going to win a challenge. Let's be real. Yeah. Like, she sat out most of the individual immunity challenges that she could. So, like, I just don't understand it. I do also want to bring up that it was kind of a multifaceted attempt to not send Janine home, because Sammy is like, wants to flip on the majority, but also Cassidy brings up, finally on the show, we're seeing an acknowledgement of the gender disparity.
Yes.
And Cassidy's
Finally.
like, there's only 4 women. Why are we voting out a woman? And Carla is like, why are we voting out a woman?
Yeah.
And they still did. I'm going to double check.
They still did. Let's
still
make
did.
that very clear.
I do appreciate that it was acknowledged, but they still did. So it was like I fully was gooped by this edit.
Technically, but yeah.
I'm like, I was fully gooped by this edit. I thought Ryan was going home. And then
Okay, yeah. I do remember hearing like one little inkling from James being like, well, I don't know if it's best for and this is just like a confessional moment too, but I remember him saying like, oh, I don't think it's best for my game that Ryan goes home.
Which I agree. I don't think it, like, as we were saying earlier, it's not really the best for Coco if Ryan goes. You know,
No,
he is at the bottom of Coco. So if there was somebody they would always take a shot at, it's always going to be Ryan, that shield in front of them. So I totally understand their side of the story of like not wanting to get Ryan out, but like the others, I'm giving them the side eye.
I'm going to amend my previous statement. Not all of the women that talked about women voted for the woman. We'll talk about it. But so we go to Tribal. And this Tribal was interesting. I know we haven't really acknowledged a lot of the conversations that have been happening at Tribal this season, but I want to acknowledge this one because this is the start of this part of the season where Jeff starts talking about, hey, what kinds of things are going to be rewarded by the jury and what things are not. And there's a big conversation about how, like, not that many big, flashy, aggressive moves have been made this season. And if you note who's bringing these things up, it's the men in the majority. Because they don't have to scramble. Because they're comfortable where they're at. And that's what brings me to this South Pacific feeling where this very similar thing happened on South Pacific. A majority alliance took out everybody else. And I don't love that game plan. I hope it changes over the next couple of weeks. I think it's definitely going to change with the next episode. We'll talk about the trailer. But it's just a little frustrating seeing the way that this season has turned out so far.
Yeah, especially considering the previous 2 seasons being really good.
And being really dynamic and in your face and live tribals and like...
I'd like to add a very specific
as well, too.
Yeah.
Despite the bullshit the producers pulled.
Yeah.
So now that we've gotten back to, okay, we are okay and we're not using as much production bullshit. Okay, no, now we're gonna get the cast that isn't as great back in. Come on, let's go. Just why?
I felt like there was potential, but
there
like
was potential.
There was potential. But we're here now, so I just okay, so where was I going with this? I just feel like if Sammy didn't spill to so many people and just kind of I feel like that then maybe it could have been like, oh, a Ryan vote out.
I think if he had gone to just Cassidy and Carla, I think we could have seen like a 7-4 and Ryan would have gone. I honestly think that could have happened. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. Like I've mentioned multiple times, I was gooped, gagged, and befuddled because lo and behold, Janine goes home.
Nope, I'm sorry. Nope. Janine did not go home. I refuse to accept it. It didn't happen. I call bullshit.
I will say, I am very excited to see the look she's going to pull on this jury throughout the rest of the season. So if there is a silver lining in this scenario, it's that. I will say as well, It was a 9-2 vote. The other vote for Ryan came from Cassidy.
Yeah.
Jury management, ma'am.
Can I just say though, I don't know how well they knew Cassidy was gonna vote for Ryan, but in my head, I'm like the minority could have pulled out the Ryan vote if they all did vote for Ryan. And I don't know, we didn't see a lot in the episode to show us why eventually it came to them not voting Ryan. So
Yeah.
I'm just confused by that because I'm like, okay, if Cassidy's voting Ryan, if the rest of the minority, Sammy, Owen, Gabler, voted that way, then we could have had Ryan out. So.
I honestly think Cassidy knew Janine was going and didn't vote for her out of jury management. Honestly, I think Cassidy has that good of a grasp
great jury management.
I think that's may have been what it is. I hope we get a little bit of clarification on that point, Robyn, that you brought up at the start of the next episode. I don't know if we will. I don't know if it's in a deleted scene somewhere. I haven't looked at those for this week. But I hope we get some sort of explanation because the edit was interesting this episode. We'll just say that. But
again, why I like Big Brother over Survivor, because at least Big Brother, they'll half-ass a stupid-ass episode where it's no good strategy, but at least we've seen it on the live feature. At least I know what's going on strategic-wise in the game, where it's Survivor, we don't really see other than what they show us. So
exactly. So next week, the new classic, I guess, top 10 double elimination. So
I'm hoping, because we saw the 2 immunity necklaces, I'm hoping they do 2 tribes, just 2 different tribes.
It seemingly will be the same way that it's been the last couple of seasons.
The majority would help a little.
Yeah. So I would love to see 5 people in that majority 7 on the same tribe.
Ooh!
And then that minority that minority comes together, votes out somebody else in the majority. As long as the women are safe, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
The women and Owen. Let's say that. The women and Owen.
Yeah.
And James. James.
Noelle could be in danger, but again, I see her being safe with people like Cody and stuff. Because I think they have a better relationship than what's perceived. So I think that's why she's been safe for the most part. So I could see Owen going home. But
what we do see as well, Noelle say to Carla, I think it is, that she plans to use her extra vote, and this is or steal a vote, and this is a great opportunity to have a steal a vote. This is the moment you use a steal a vote.
Immediately once you use that steal a vote, all you need is one other person.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
To have majority.
So, you have a tie at least.
No.
Well, no, if you have your vote, the stolen vote, and one other ally, that's 3.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're done.
You're done. A Noelle and Cassidy on one side, or a Noelle and Owen or something.
I pray that it goes right. Just don't.
I think so. I think they threw this in because they knew the season was going to shit. I don't know.
Survivor gods, for the love of everything that is good in the world, I don't think I've ever said this about Survivor. Please rig the groups. Please, for the love of God, just rig it. I don't care. Just rig it.
You're rig it.
I don't care anymore. Keep the women, Owen and James, safe. That's all I'm asking for. Oh, and I know that's half the group. And watch, that's going to be one whole group. That's going to be 5, and then the other 5. My best case scenario, honestly, Cody and Gabler. That's who I want to see go home.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Just all I ask is that this is the low of the season and it goes back up. And if Carla or Owen don't make the final 3, I am actively going to go to Jeff Probst's house and have a nice, passionate talk with him.
Oh no.
You heard it here first.
Not
For
this.
legal reasons, this is a joke.
I hate you. And we'll be back next Monday because that's when these videos come out. Because hey, we're back on a schedule.
Woo!
Hi, I got my life together.
Before we finish, I just want to say something else about the votes.
Mm.
And what do you guys think about it? Because Owen, Gabler, and I'm guessing Noel kind of just jumped on the majority to just be on the
Seems like it.
majority train. Do we think that they know that there's a 7-person alliance? Because I didn't know if we saw that they acknowledged that they know about the 7. I think they're just jumping on the majority, but
I think that's the case. I don't think
oh, that was kind of boring. I'm just saying, we are gamers here, so we love tough gameplay. So I'm like, no, break up the majority, cause of chaos. But
I hate a majority. I'm always a majority breaker. Like every time I'm always a majority breaker.
I'm like, it's jury. Come on, stop playing scared. It is jury. The least you'll be is a juror.
Exactly. But let's see. I think next week is really going to shake things up depending on where the groups fall. And I'm still holding out hope. I don't think this season is gonna reach the levels of 41 and 42, how much I love both of those seasons. But I'm hopeful that this season is going to end strong and Carla will win.
Yes. Carla.
Period.
I'll take Owen as well.
I'll take Owen. James. I'll take James.
Sammy, maybe. But like
Cassidy, I would take Noelle any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, I think if Noelle makes Final 3, I think she wins.
Yeah.
Like I think she's played a game worthy of winning too. Like I don't want to say just because of her disability, but I think she wins because she's played a solid game so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one thing I like that she said in this episode, instead of feeling bad about not being in the majority votes the last 2 times, I think she just realized, hey, other people have started playing the game, and I just need to step my pussy up instead of being like wallowing in like, I'm sad, I haven't been in the majority. So I love that attitude from her. So
I agree. Well, that's that on that. We'll be back with episode 9 next week. Follow us on all the things, do all the things, subscribe to the things. Like the things, all of it.
Yeah.
And with cheers, I guess. That's about it.
Cheers
with my Arizona iced tea.
Period.
I don't want to deal with this if it goes downhill.
Not this.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Why are you still here?
You still here?
Late.